Okay, thank you. We'll call the meeting to order. Good evening, everyone.
Good
evening.
I'd ask for the calling of the roll, please.
Thank you. Mayor Eady,
Present.
Reeve Eamon,
Present.
Councillor Koulis,
Present.
Councillor Evans.
He said present.
Okay, I see
could
you.
lip read.
Councillor Hines,
Present.
Councillor Jameson, Councillor Sidney. We do have a quorum, Mayor Eady.
Thank you. Okay, is there any declaration of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Okay, hearing none. Not a big agenda tonight, so we should get through it fairly reasonable, I hope. The first motion being that the minutes of the regular meeting of the council held September 14th, 2021 be adopted as printed. Mover, please. Councillor Evans, second by Councillor Hines. Any questions or comments on the minutes? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. That the letter of request from the Renfrew Business Improvement Area concerning the use of Low Square on closure of Railway Avenue be received. Further, the Renfrew Town Council approved the closure of Railway Avenue and the use of Low Square on December the 4th, 2021, time to be determined for the 2021 holiday event and parade. And further, that the Development Works and Parks and Recreation Departments work with Renfrew Business Improvement Area to accommodate the request. Mover, please. Councillor Koulis, second by Councillor Evans. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, hearing none. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. See, Councillor Jemison has joined us, Clerk Fulmer.
Thank you.
Okay, next motion that the minutes of the Planning Advisory Committee meeting held September the 7th, 2021 be received. Mover, please. Councillor Hines, second by Councillor Evans. Turn over to Councillor Hines for the report.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. This is our meeting of Tuesday, September the 7th at 6 o'clock. And we did review the minutes of August 11th, which were at the council meeting August 31st. The business of the evening was a public meeting to deal with a zoning bylaw amendment. It was file number D14141, and the specific address is 377 Bruce Street, and it was an application by the owner, Andrew Hill. And we didn't have any members of the public at the planning meeting, but the purpose of the zoning bylaw amendment was to rezone the subject property from open space zone and environmental protection zone to residential 1 exception 32 zone and environmental protection zone. A rezoning would permit the construction of 1 single detached dwelling, and the environmental protection zone will be extended in accordance with the slope stability setback provided by the geotechnical consultants. The balance of the property will be placed in a site-specific residential zone with additional provisions regarding the enlarged minimum front yard setback, the mandatory municipal water service, private sewer disposal service, their septic, and the provision of the groundwater easement to the town over the entire property. This was prior to ensure, this is prior to issuing the building permit. So at this time, the applicant is looking to build 1 single detached dwelling there. Clarification was given to the applicant that further development would require reevaluation through a new application process. So if he did want to develop more housing on there or sever off the back part, that a new application would have to be processed. And as I said, there were no members of the public present to speak to this. So the Planning Advisory Committee is recommending to Council tonight to pass this bylaw to amend the zoning bylaw. We did have a report from Planner Withers, as we always do, in regard to upcoming business. There's a lot of activity going on in planning. There's an application for some residential units on Arthur Avenue, and of course Phase 5 of Hunter Gate, that's still pending. The Lepine Development have submitted their site plan for Building B, which will be their third building, and that'll be coming to our planning meeting. I believe it's next week. And yeah, we're still nothing further in regard to the 3 restaurants proposed for O'Brien Road, but those that company is working with the planning department. The county is currently reviewing the application for the proposed Pinnacle subdivision, and that's all the information that we were given at that time. The Art Factory is no longer in a planning stage. They are working with the building department to complete their project, and they've done quite a nice job there. The committee provided, this is to the Development and Works Committee and the Development and Works Department, that the committee wanted to express some really positive feedback in regard to Raglan Street and County Road 52 and Stewart Street construction projects. It seemed amazing that it was kind of all in an uproar, and then very quickly it's pretty much at its finished point. And certainly a great addition to the town is the wider intersection at Stewart and Bruce. It'll certainly better accommodate heavy trucks, etc. So our next meeting will be October, next Tuesday, whatever that should be, maybe the 4th. And you're welcome to join us if, October the 5th it is. You're welcome to join us. If you wish to join us, please contact Planner Withers and he'll put you on the Zoom call. So it was a very good meeting to deal with that application and also to be updated on the many things that are happening in the planning department. They're pretty busy in there.
Okay, any questions or comments on the report? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? Carried. The planner's weather report dated September the 23rd, 2021, concerning a zoning bylaw amendment for 377 Bruce Street be received. Mover, please. Councillor Hines is second by Revimo. Again, I don't think there's any need for Planner Withers to give us a report on this unless council members would like it. It's Withers, do you wish to do it? It don't matter. I don't think too much, but I think Councillor Hines gave a pretty good description of it. Want to say a few words? That'd be fine.
Thank you, Barry. I'm just glad to answer any questions if there's anything in respect to the report or the recommendation. Thank you.
Not hearing any. Okay, all in favor? It's carried. Thank you. The bylaw 64, 2021, being a bylaw to amend bylaw number 46, 2010, being a bylaw to regulate the use of lands and the character, location, use of buildings and structures within the town of Renfrew pursuant to section 34 of the Planning Act with respect to the property located at 377 Bruce Street, town of Renfrew, roll number 4748-000-095-14700, read the first time and deemed to have been read a second time. Mover, please. Councillor Hines, second by Councillor Koulas. Again, any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? Carried. The bylaw 64, 2021, being a bylaw to amend bylaw number 46, 2010, being a bylaw to regulate the use of lands and the character, location, Use of buildings and structures within the town of Renfrew pursuant to section 34 of the Planning Act with respect to the property located at 377 Bruce Street, town of Renfrew, county of Renfrew, roll number 4748-000-095-14700, be read a third time and be passed. Mover, please. Councillor Jemison, second by Reeve Emo. Again, any questions? Okay. All in favor? Carried. Just a note, I got to say that whole thing with only didn't have to take one breath. That was a pretty long one. Okay. The plan of whether be heard before council concerning the Smiths Creek consideration. Mover, please. Councillor Evans, second by Reeve Emo. Turn over to Planner Withers for the report.
Thank you, Mayor Eady. This request came in very shortly before the agenda went out last week, so it is before council this evening, just as correspondence and a request from solicitors representing the purchaser of representing the seller of lands at 300 Arnprior Avenue. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to share. I have a better drawing. If Mayor Eady, if it'd be okay, I can just share my screen. If that's all right.
That's fine.
Okay. Is this somewhat visible here?
No, it's not.
I see it full screen on my system here, Eric.
Okay, we have it up now.
Okay.
Yes, I'm seeing it.
Okay, so the Ms. Geddes, she owns, currently is the registered owner of 300 Arnprior Avenue right here. So Arnprior and Ross across the top of the plan. So this is the dwelling at 300. You have Smiths Creek running through it, going to the Boneshire, and you have lands that Ms. Geddes owns on the west side of the creek, and right here you have Vimy Boulevard in the county housing development at the end of Vimy. So the issue here, and it's a legal issue, Ms. Geddes apparently owns, as part of 300 Arnprior Avenue, she apparently owns this chunk of land shown as parcel B here. And I think visually, I think everyone anticipated that it would form part of parcel C, and so when she sold the house, everything on the other side of the creek would go, that she would retain. In fact, that's not the case. The other issue is that a portion of Smiths Creek is under private ownership, which is Smiths Creek is a drainage feature. It's a receiving tributary that feeds into the Boneshire, as I'm sure everyone's aware. And as the drainage authority, it's a good idea for the town to have control over these major outlets. So as a solution to this issue, Ms. Geddes is through Kasperzak Surveying is prepared to apply for a consent to sever parcel B from parcel A, and parcel B would be transferred and added to parcel C. But we would still have the issue of this portion, this horseshoe of Smiths Creek being under private ownership. So you would have all of the drainage upstream of Smiths Creek traversing this private property, which is not ideal in our opinion. So what the solicitors are proposing is that Smiths Creek be surveyed as a part and transferred to the town. This would have the effect of a natural severance that when parcel B and C are put under the same ownership, they will merge on title. So it will have the desired effect for the owner, for Ms. Geddes, and for the new purchaser of her house, as well as transferring that portion of Smiths Creek back into public ownership. So Director Aslan and I have spoken about this. We are supportive of this proposal, but we do need the support of council in order to indicate to the solicitors that we are agreeable, that the town is agreeable to this proposal, and would receive this part here, being Smiths Creek, as part of the transaction to merge B and C. So that's what's before council this evening. If there are any questions, I'm certainly glad to field them. And we are looking for direction from council to proceed with this transfer. Thank you.
Would you mind taking the drawing down now, so I can see everybody? That's great. Thank you very much, Planner Withers. Any questions or comments on this? Councillor Koulis and then Councillor Hines. Yeah, you're on mute, Councillor Koulis.
Thank you, Your Worship. Twice. The parcel that you speak of, then, was it included in the sale of the home on Arthur Street?
Thank you, through you, Mayor Eady. My understanding is that it was the intent to sell all of the land on the east side of the creek. Yep. I think that was the understanding of the purchaser at the time, as well. And so there is just this legal issue that they need to deal with. Our understanding is the purchaser is currently living in the home and is awaiting transfer of the dwelling and the property into their ownership, and this is the only outstanding issue. That's why it's on the agenda this evening, because it is outstanding. Okay,
if I may, Your Worship. So the real concern here is the ownership of the actual creek, the Smiths Creek. That's the concern here tonight. Am I right?
Yes, thank you, through you, Mayor Eady. That is the concern on the town's part. We really, who owns that little piece of land, whether it's Ms. Geddes or the new purchaser, is not really of interest to the town. What's of interest to the town in this situation is that we would obtain that portion of Smiths Creek that we currently do not have control over.
Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Hines.
I had a similar question, just that what we were actually looking at here. But I do think that it is important that the town has ownership of that waterway, and such as it is, so that there is some control over it. And I think this resolves it for both the town and Ms. Geddes, and for her property on Arm Prairie Avenue.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, the Renfrew Town Council approve and accept the transfer of land ownership from Eileen Geddes for a portion of Smiths Creek, formerly Mill Creek, to facilitate the sale of her property known municipally as 300 Arm Prairie Avenue, and further that the town clerk be authorized and empowered to execute all things, papers, and documents necessary to the completion of the said lands transfer. Mover, please. Councillor Evans, second by Councillor Hines. Any further questions? Hearing none. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay. With the minutes of the Park and Recreation Facilities Committee meeting held August the 17th and September 21st be received. Mover, please. Councillor Evans, seconded by Councillor Koulis. Councillor Koulis, in the absence of Chair Sidney, would you like to give the report?
I don't have it in front of me actually, but
Maybe Director Hill could give the report, or I can, but
Yeah.
Director Hill, do you want to give the report maybe? You may not have it either. I can go ahead and give it. I have it right here. Okay. I'll proceed with it if you don't mind then. First meeting was August the 17th, 2021, 3 o'clock at the Town Council Chambers. Myself, Chair Sidney, and Councillor Koulis were present with Director Hill. Director Hill gave us a little presentation emailed from the local pickleball group, and issues needed to be addressed to deal with the new agreement with the Renfrew Tennis Club. There was also a report on the tennis courts, quotations, etc. An update on the Mattaway expansion project. Whatever, the staff were advised that the preparation construction process is still processing well and proceeding well. And that was about what was really talked about at that meeting. So if there's any questions on that meeting, maybe we could direct them to Director Hill. So I'm not hearing anything on that. The next meeting was Tuesday, September 21st. And again, there was Chair Sidney was there, myself, Councillor Koulis, and Director Hill. There was an issue 7.1, empowering the girls club, and Director Hill, do you want to expand on that maybe just a wee bit if you don't mind for me?
My apologies.
That's okay.
Can everybody hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't get any volume, so I apologize. I'm scrambling. To expand on the request from the girls club, they have requested the use of the Visitors Information Center again this year at no charge, similar to what they did last year. But due to our staffing and the timing of the event, or the program, we had recommended from the rec committee's point of view that if they wished to use the Visitors Information Center, that we would charge them for that, because we would have to send a staff member from Mattaway over, open the facility, go back to Mattaway. When the program was done, we'd have to go back, close and lock the facility in Armet. So we offered it to them at the regular rate, or they could have another municipal facility, be it the rec center or Mattaway, at no charge, because those facilities are staffed during that time frame. I've spoke to the organizers. They've graciously accepted the option of Mattaway, because Mattaway was available on at the time frame Wednesday evenings from 5 till 8, and they were quite happy actually, because they can expand the program, get more girls out, and you know, the facility is sitting idle during that time frame, and they are of the understanding that if we have a paid rental that approaches us for that night, that they would be bumped to the rec center, and they're quite comfortable with that. So we have them booked in for the, I believe it's starting mid-October and going throughout the school season.
Okay. 7.2, an artistic proposal. There was a request from the Art Recovery Program to move into a warmer facility. They're currently at the Art Factory, which is not heated. And it was moved and seconded that the Art Factory program be granted space at the Recreation Center every second Friday evening through the winter months at no charge. That was carried. Next report was on the tennis club, the service agreement and the court relocation. There was an extensive talk on that, and whatever, and Director Hill is proceeding with speaking with the tennis people. Splash pad expansion was spoken of, and it looks like the Rotary Club is committing a good share of money to that, and that will proceed. Nottaway Extension Project again was a short update, which we'll be getting a further update this evening, I believe. Vaccination screening was spoken of, and unfortunately, it's going to cost us money to do that screening. The cost will be somewhere between $1,000 and $1,400 a week. I believe that there is money in sent to us by the provincial government that'll take care of paying for that, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And there was a discussion on the 108 flower beds. There was recognizing Helen Wilson's efforts in the development and maintenance. I guess she's done an awful pile of work there. And so it looks like we're going to come up with some kind of design of a plaque to recognize her work done. Had a chat on McDougall Mill museum roof and windows and door replacement. Again, that's in process with Director Hill. Any questions or comments on this? Councillor Hines.
Just a couple of questions. I'm just wondering if Director Hill could remind me of what is the rate for the visitor center for that group? What would the cost be?
I believe is $150 a day or $30 per hour.
Okay. And just another quick question here. Just a second till I find it. Just in regard to the, oh, it's on this page, the splash pad, I'm just wondering, it says maybe in about the fourth line, the town will fund the balance out of the 2021 and 2020 budget. We had money in there from 2020 to go ahead with that and we didn't, or should that read 2022 capital budget?
No, that is my error. It should state 2021 and 2022 capital budget. There's 75,000 allocated in 2021 and 75,000 allocated in 2022,
Okay.
of which 75,000 is funded from the Rotary Club, and we have made a request to the fundraising committee to fund 25,000. And if the fundraising committee does commit to that, then there'll be a total cost to the municipality of $50,000 for the $150,000 expansion that will occur in 2022.
Okay, I just wasn't sure because I know we had spoke about that before, and it's great to see that club come forward and work with recreation and be able to develop that for sure. So good work on that. And just one clarification on the vaccine screening. Certainly a lot of work put on to recreation to check everybody as they come in the door, but I'm just not quite sure what this reads. And again, it's about the fifth line down, and it says, and older must be double vaccinated, and those 12 years of age and older must be double vaccinated. I just can't grasp what you're saying. If not participating.
I'd like to explain.
Yeah.
What's happened is Ontario regulations have required recreation facilities to be open. We must screen and ensure all participants coming into the facility. And when I say all participants, all spectators, let me clarify, all spectators 18 years of age and older must be double vaccinated. Anybody who's coming in for active recreation, so any of the children playing, participating in, whether it's figure skating, ringette, hockey, any of those activities, if they're participating, they don't need to be double vaccinated. At this point, if they're not participating, say they're coming to a junior hockey game to be a spectator or watching their brother and sister play, anyone over the age of 12 must be double vaccinated. Hockey Eastern Ontario yesterday, I believe, they announced that as of a date in November, they are going to be requiring everyone participating as a league rule to be double vaccinated. So the rules are changing, and we, the town of Renfrew, met with all representatives of recreation facilities in the Ottawa Valley not last Thursday, the Thursday before, and we met with the health unit present, and the health unit had stated that we can make the regulations more stringent, but we can't reduce them on ourselves. So the regulations as they're written allow volunteers, coaches, trainers, like anybody involved with a hockey team or ringette team or figure skating, that their volunteers do not required to be vaccinated. We as a group of, I'm saying probably 15 of the 17 municipalities were represented. We stated that all persons entering, whether trainers or not, would require double vaccination. So we went as a group, we stated that we were going to be more strict than the regulations themselves. We did receive some backlash as a result, but together, the entire group maintained the policy that we set at the meeting, that we came together to discuss this very issue. We met with the health unit, and we are proceeding that way. It's my understanding Hockey Eastern Ontario is making some changes. It's my understanding that ringette and possibly figure skating are also discussing some changes, but we'll keep the rec committee and via council updated on the regulations as they change. But right now we are enforcing as per the Renfrew County Arena Rec Facilities Association managers and organizers. We're going with the policy as set. And it's working out quite well. Obviously there's some upset people as they try and enter, but we're doing the best we can. We are trying to keep the facilities open. We appreciate the understanding from all of our user groups. They've been very supportive. It's just the odd parent or spectator that's not happy with the screening process. But again, we're just doing what we have to do to keep our facilities open.
Yep. Any further questions? Councillor Hines.
Just through you, Your Worship, to Director Hill. That's a great explanation of that. And I must say, I did attend the Junior A hockey game on Saturday night, and the screening was very smooth. People knew to have their certificate there that you can print off. And as I understand, the library is laminating a little copy of it. You can keep in your wallet. It went really smooth. It didn't hold up the lines or anything, and people seem to accept that. So I applaud the Ottawa Valley Recreation Facilities Association for taking that stand and trying to protect the people that are going there, and that we can keep our town safe. So thank you.
Yeah. Any further questions? Councillor Jemison.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Just a question on that, Director Hill, before we leave that. So basically, anybody entering 12 years old or older has to be double vaccinated. So are you saying 11 and under does not need to be vaccinated?
That is correct. And
okay.
If you are attending as a 12 or 13-year-old to participate in active recreation, you do not require double vaccination proof. It's only if you are attending to watch a sibling or a parent or a different, if you're as a spectator, yes, as a participant, no. And it's very difficult, but we're, again, doing the best we can.
Okay, and my second question is 8.1, the tennis club service agreement. So can you just explain to me what you're talking about when you talk about a phased-in membership fee?
Yeah, so we've met a number of times, both with the Recreation Committee and with the representatives from the tennis club. And what we've proposed, and we're going back and forth with the group. We've proposed a number of options. We are exploring and doing comparison on a couple of issues that have been raised by the executive. But what we were looking at is doing a phased-in fee structure. And then at the last rec committee meeting, it was stated that the rec committee did not want to entertain a 10-year phased-in period. So then we've presented back to the tennis club a 5-year phased-in program, and then we talked to them, and now we're looking at other options. I am in daily dialogue with their treasurer, trying to get information, which Nancy's been excellent. And I'm trying to put together a fair proposal for both the tennis club and council to consider, and we are hoping to have something dealt with at the next council meeting so that we can proceed with the new construction immediately following thereafter.
Okay, so then are you telling me, again, I'm trying to figure out what is the benefits of having a phased-in fee versus just paying a rental fee like the other organizations do? I'm trying to figure out what's the benefit.
I guess the benefit from our standpoint is we have, I've been given direction from the rec committee to generate the revenues from the operations of the new tennis courts. So we're looking at trying to make it affordable, not a wow factor starting day one. So we looked at we had actually presented to the rec committee and to the tennis group a 10-year phased in, and I received direction and feedback from the committee. We changed that. And we're now looking at a 5-year phase in, and then upon our research with other groups and organizations, we will be meeting with the rec committee prior to the next council meeting. We'll be having a meeting to discuss this issue and putting a recommendation forward for the rec committee's consideration, and then for council to address. So I guess the reason for a phased in was trying to ease in the fee structure that was being presented, and of late, and in discussing some of the costs that the town will be taking over, and in discussion with the tennis club, we're trying to figure out what their savings would be on an annual basis per member, so that we can reduce it on their side, increase it on our side, because we'll be picking up those fees, and really trying to look at putting together what we feel is a fair presentation for council's consideration, because we do want to get rolling on the expansion. We want to commence work immediately following. They have a year-end high school tournament, I believe, that's happening on the 6th of October. And on the 12th of October, I would like to make a solid recommendation for council's consideration to move forward so that we can commence construction on the 13th.
Okay.
All righty. Councillor Hines.
Sorry, Your Worship, I just had one other question in regard to the McDougall Mill Museum roof. If I remember correctly, we did have someone engaged, and it became too late in the year last year to do anything about it. So we've not, that person is, or that company is not able to do it now, and we need to get on with it. I understand that from your comments there, but.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We tried to support a local contractor. He bid the project, was successful. We awarded the tender. He ran out of time last fall and had promised the work would be completed, his first job of the year in 2021. That did not happen. I did follow up and try and secure or nail down that contractor to a date, and unfortunately we were not able to come up with a date. So therefore the rec committee has advised me to go back out and try and resecure a contractor to complete the work. I feel terrible about this. And I guess you try and support a local small company, and unfortunately on a project of this size, I guess it's my fault, my error, that I should have recommended a larger firm, which would have taken the work out of town, and I tried to stay local, and it ended up backfiring on me. So I apologize to council and to the museum people, because I know they've worked a lot of work to get it ready. And I do promise that we will try and secure a contractor to get that work done as soon as possible.
I don't think that's your fault. I think it's just, that's how it happens, and COVID didn't help with it for sure.
Okay. If there's no further questions, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, the next motion being that Director Hill be heard before council to provide the first in a series of updates on the expanded Mattaway Activity Center project. Mover, please. Councillor Jamison, second by Councillor Coulis. Turn it over to Director Hill for the report.
Thank you very much, and I apologize for the last meeting not being able to have my audio-visual working for that to present. The presentation is that council has asked that I update council and the community on a monthly basis about the Mattaway expansion. We are still in the pre-construction stage, working with ButCon and N45 Architecture and our team. Pleased to announce that the first series of tenders were released approximately 2 weeks ago, and they closed on Thursday. I am meeting with ButCon tomorrow to find out the results of those tenders, but initial discussion, a few texts back and forth with the estimator from ButCon, Mr. Gould. He's quite pleased with the results of the tender. We did anticipate, steel was going to come in over what was budgeted. Other than that, the number of rock anchors to secure the building, the number had increased. When ButCon put together the tender, they had estimated based on the original design, and a number of rock anchors were increased. So there is going to be a budget impact to the number of rock anchors. The steel is going to be a factor, but we've been assured that, these are early tenders. We anticipated the steel because of the costs and the commodities right now. But overall, it's looking forward to those results. They did tender site works, footings, rebar, concrete finishing, steel, and I'm missing one other, and I apologize. Anyways, they've tendered 6 and they closed. The N45 Architecture have promised us they will be making application for foundation permit on Friday. So we'll be submitting a full set of requirements to the building department for their review on Friday. The site will be mobilized with trailers and fencing probably within the next week to 2 weeks, and site works will begin awaiting approval on the tender or the permit process that are, and we've been working with the building department on their requirements from site plan to drawings. So N45 is well aware of what the department needs to see, and we've been anticipating a groundbreaking with big machinery. We're hoping before the 1st of October. I do believe that it will be slightly after the 1st of October, but we've been assured by the builder that everything's moving along as anticipated, and there's been no major hiccups. We are, again, the only issue is the steel, but I'll be able to provide an exact costing after my meeting with the estimator tomorrow. So looking forward to doing the monthly reports. ButtCon is going to be providing a written document that we will be presenting with the agenda. So council will have information should they wish to ask questions. And I apologize for not having that tonight. But I did want to provide the verbal update as promised. And we're looking forward to seeing those monthly reports from ButtCon where we can distribute those and have questions from council. We have had a series of 7 face-to-face meetings. There's probably been 3 or 4 others that have been virtual meetings. Quite productive, heated at times, but some humor at times too. I'm very much looking forward to working with ButtCon. And I think that the team that we have in place is going to work extremely well to make sure that this project comes in on budget and on time as promised during the groundbreaking ceremony. So looking forward to it.
Any questions? Okay, hearing none. Thank you very much, Director Hill. That's what you have today, and that's good. Okay, all in favor of that motion? It's carried. Thank you. Okay, next motion. The Director Aston's report dated September 22nd, 2021 concerning the award of the construction of the swinging bridge improvement be received. Mover, please. Councillor Evans, second by Councillor Hines. Director Aston, do you want to speak on this a bit?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor Eady and Council. I'll give you the short version, and if you have questions, you can ask them and I'll try to answer them. So the town has been working on our swinging bridge the last couple of years, doing emergency repairs to the structure. A lot of the connections are failing, to the point where all the fasteners need to be replaced and various other things. So we've been attending to it each year. Last fall, there was an infrastructure grant, COVID-19 resilience infrastructure stream came out, which gave the municipality an opportunity to apply for a grant of $183,673. So the town did discuss priority projects at that point and felt the swinging bridge, which is an important landmark for the community, and it does need some work. So we the council chose that project to advance as part of the grant. So we were successful in that grant, and in May we brought a report forward to council and awarded the design to WSP. So since May, the WSP has prepared a design. We have put the information on our website to show you the scope of work. The engineers had estimated that the construction value would just exceed the COVID resiliency grant, and we had a discussion with the Development Works Committee to see if they wanted us to reduce the scope of the work to fall within the grant, or just to do the work or tender the work that was required. And the committee felt that it was important to proceed with tendering the project to get it done and to do the work that needs to be done, and not have another project in the future to kind of finish it off. So this report here presents the tender results. So we did go to tender, and there were 2 companies that submitted bids, and there was BEI was one of the contractors and Dalcon Contractors. Now the BEI submission, BEI had purchased Corrington Engineering, who was the company from Renfrew that was doing the work in previous years. So we do have experience with BEI. Their bid was low at $292,627. The second bid was quite a bit higher at $416,970. So we did evaluate the bids to make sure that they were complete, and both bids were complete. We had WSP provide a recommendation letter and evaluating the bids, and we also evaluated the bids, found they were complete, and the bonding is in place. And we're bringing a report forward now to council to award the construction And with the award of this construction to BEI at a value of $263,519, it exceeds the grant amount by $145,500. And that includes some contingency amount to deal with issues that might arise through construction. So this report is being brought forward to get council's endorsement to award the contract to BEI and to find the funding of $145,500. The acting treasurer is not here tonight, but her comment reflects possible funding sources as the 2021 top-up funds from of the federal gas tax. So in 2021, they doubled the gas tax allowance, some $250,000. So there are funds there, or unallocated reserves. So the idea is we would proceed with the project. It's quite an aggressive schedule. The grant has the work required to be complete by the end of this year in December. So we're on track for that, and we've fast-tracked the design and fast-tracked the tendering. And with this award, if it's awarded tonight, they'll get right to the work that's required and do it this fall. The swinging bridge will need to be closed for a period of time, but we'll make sure we communicate very clearly on our website and through the media. I think it's fortunate now that the Stewart Street work is advanced well enough that the sidewalks are becoming opened again. So there's alternatives for pedestrians who need to cross from that side of town. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions, Council? Councillor Hines.
I'm pleased that the committee has recommended that we go ahead with this project in its completeness, and it is nice to have a company that has some experience with this. I'm just wondering if the possible funding sources, if that could be referred to finance and we could bring back a recommendation to council. I think that there is money that we can use for that specific project in both of those items, but I think it deserves some discussion. So, but if council wishes to deal with it tonight, I'd be happy with that too. I'm very much in favor of the project.
Yes, and the report does authorize the award of the contract, and it's outlined in the report that they will have to find funding sources, so they can certainly discuss that with the Finance Committee.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay. The bylaw 65, 2021, being a bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk to execute an agreement with BEI, formerly Corrington, for the construction of the swinging bridge rehabilitation. You read it first time and deemed to have been read a second time. Over, please. Councillor Hines, second by Revimo. Again, any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried, thank you. The bylaw 65, 2021, being a bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk to execute an agreement with BEI, formerly Corrington, for the construction of the swinging bridge rehabilitation, be read a third time to be passed. Mover, please. Councillor Evans, seconded by Councillor Hines. Last chance, any comments? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor? It's carried, thank you. Okay, the Director Aslan's report dated September 22nd, 2021 concerning pedestrian crossover upgrades to be received. Mover, please. Councillor Evans, second by Councillor Coles. Maybe ask Director Aslan if he wants to speak on this.
Thank you, Mayor Eady and Council. This report is to bring Council up to speed on the proposed pedestrian crossover signal improvements and installations. There's two pedestrian crossovers, which are basically very similar to the downtown. There's two of them being proposed on county roads, one at Raglan Street South, that's County Road 52 at Barnett, and that was planned through the new construction project at County Road 52. And the second is the County Road 20, so Bruce Street at the Raglan Street North by the hospital area. That's an existing unsignalized crossing that we're proposing to upgrade to pedestrian signals similar to what's installed in the downtown. Now, those pedestrian crossovers on county roads require a resolution be passed, and that council, commit to paying for the upgrade cost and for the new installation of the signals, and as well the replacement when it's time to replace them. We have included the county policy on the pedestrian crossings, and you can see in the policy that the county does pay for the operation and maintenance of the signals, but they're very low operation and maintenance because it's basically solar powered, and they're very, very low maintenance. So if council passes this report, it will provide the necessary resolutions in support of the crossings on Raglan Street South at Barnett and Bruce Street at Raglan Street North. And we have the signals purchased for the Raglan Street North one, and the County Road 52 is included in the construction contract, so they're both funded. Now, the second part of it is just to endorse the proposed crossing installed at the town's cost. So we're proposing to install a pedestrian crossover signal at Hall and Bar. Hall Avenue is very busy, as you all know, and there is a school crossing guard right at that location, but it's a frequently used crosswalk at other times as well. So we're proposing to provide a pedestrian signal at Hall Avenue and Bar Street. And the second one is a pedestrian crossing at Stewart Street. That's right on the new construction project at Arthur Avenue. So the multi-use path kind of terminates near the end of Arthur Street, and there's a pedestrian crossover that's being proposed there, and it's been designed into the construction contract and it's gone through all the public consultations, and that will lead pedestrians from the area of the swinging bridge in the museum over to link up to our new multi-use pathways. So we're just presenting this information to council to get the feedback on these and to get the necessary support for the installations on the county roads.
Okay, any questions on the report? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you, council.
The next one is the Renfrew County Council to support the installation and upgrade of the existing crossovers on County of Renfrew roads at the following locations. Raglan Street South, CR 52 at Barnett Boulevard, new installation. Bruce Street, CR 20 at Raglan Street North, upgrade. And further, Renfrew Town Council agrees to pay for the cost of the installation and replacement of the above pedestrian crossovers and annual repairing or repainting of pavement markings. I need a mover, please. So Ray Vimo, second by Councillor Koulis. Okay, any questions or comments on this? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, the Renfrew Town Council approved the upgrade of the pedestrian crossover at Hall Avenue at Bar Street, and install a new pedestrian crossover at Stewart Street at Arthur Avenue. Over, please. Councillor Evans, seconded by Councillor Koulis. Again, any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Okay, carried. Okay. Any new or unfinished business? Councillor Hines.
Your Worship, I'm just going back to the swinging bridge and wondering if we could get some direction from council that the finance committee should bring that back for the next council meeting of where we might find the $145,000 some odd dollars. We kind of or I mentioned it, and then we just kind of moved on. So just wondering how that's going to work out.
As chair of that committee, I'll make sure that's put on the agenda.
Thank you.
Okay, any other new or unfinished business? I had a couple items. Number one, our former Reeve and mayor of the town of Renfrew, Audrey Green, had fallen and broken her hip a little while back. And I believe presently she's in Pembroke Hospital recovering. I heard things were going fairly well. Haven't had a chance to talk to her, but just on behalf of council, I'd just like to wish her well and hope that everything is going to work out well for her. That was number one. And number two, remembering on Thursday, a day to maybe wear some type of orange if you can possibly do it. Other than that, I have nothing else. Does anybody else have anything? Okay, hearing nothing. Okay, the bylaw 66/2021 being a bylaw to confirm proceedings of the council, corporation, town of Renfrew, meeting held September 28, 2021, be read the first time and deemed to have been read a second time. Over, please. Councillor Evans, second by Councillor Coles. Any questions or comments? Sure. No? All in favor? Carried. The bylaw 66/2021 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings, the council, corporation, town of Renfrew, meeting held September 28, 2021, be read a third time and be passed. Mover, please. Revimo, second by Councillor Jemison. Again, all in favor? Carried. We now adjourn. It is 8:01 and 45 seconds. It's 8:02. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.